Welcome to Spirit School. My name is Danielle Sarank, also known as the Squamish Medium. I am the host of your Spirit School, where I will share all the lessons and learnings that I have uncovered through my intuitive development and mediumship development journey. I am a professional psychic and medium, an intuitive teacher and mentor, and I look forward to walking alongside you on this journey. Hello everyone and welcome back to Spirit School. This is the September Energies episode. This is where I set the intention to the world of spirit. Spirit, I'm not concerned about everyone on the planet at this time when I am doing these energies. Spirit knows more than I do who's going to be tuning in and who's going to be called to check out this episode. So this is for you. So this is for the, couple hundred people who check out my episodes each week. So thank you. So I am speaking about all this on the new moon of Virgo. I love Virgo season. I am a Virgo. It was my birthday on August 26th. I had a hard time seeing the pluses of Virgo my entire life. And it's because there are the shadow sides of Virgo that I see more clearly than the positive aspects of Virgo. So the overthinking, the, tit for tat, the retaliation mindset, the, being so hard on myself, and the perfectionism and the exhausting ways of which I feel like I'll never meet my own expectations in this world. And those are very shadow sides of Virgo aspects that you may feel creep up within your own energy this month too. So it's very beautiful exercise to look at the positive aspects of Virgo. And I am part of an amazing group called Dollar Moon Club. If you follow me on Instagram, if you look up Cassie, Kassy, that's the woman who runs the Dollar Moon Club, and she's completely connected and amazing. And so her Facebook group is probably my favorite Facebook group on the internet, because I love memes. If anyone who follows me knows I love memes, and it's just kind of like X-rated moon chat. And it's a really cool space. So one day I posted saying, I'm kind of like down on being a Virgo sun, because I notice all these shadow aspects that kind of get the better of me most of the time. And everybody listed out all the beautiful aspects that are of the light side of the Virgo energies. And so those are really, opportunities to be of service. It's one of the most service orientated signs in the zodiac. It's also, an earth sign. It's very grounded and grounding. It's very organized, and you can go to a Virgo and they can pretty much visualize a project from beginning to end right away. That's actually one of the gifts that I do have that I see as a very positive aspect of my sign. Virgos typically, though I'm coming around to this, are pretty health conscious when it comes to diet and exercise, and they're able to keep routines quite well. So I definitely try to call in that side of myself. Pure intentions are known with Virgos because of that service mindset. And it's really healthy and balanced solar plexus are very common with Virgo energies as well. So all I need to do to kind of counterbalance that Virgo energy, because we will be spending most of September within the Virgo energy. So if you do find yourself being hard on yourself and finding that you're not meeting your own high expectations, try to call in those positive aspects around, okay, I'm down on myself. How can I be of service in this moment? How can I help somebody else? Because by helping somebody else, I am in turn going to be making myself feel a whole lot better. So just know that is coming up. Definitely when we're spending a lot of time in Virgo land, and I'm very excited we are, because I do get the sense that there's going to be a lot of people, especially people who are mums in the northern hemisphere. Our kids are going back to school from a long summer break, and so this is actually the perfect time to start getting schedules in order. I started working with a nutritionist a few months ago to try to get some energy back, and to be honest with you, my kids are the pickiest eaters. They're 2 and 5. I'm like, I need to figure out how to cook food, so I'm not cooking all night. I want to hang out with them and spend time with them. And I've been working with her for the past 7 weeks, and I can't tell you the benefits that I've had from that. Since I'm dropping names today, I think it's Origins Nutrition. Her name's Jessie. She's in Squamish, but she's international too. And my life has completely changed working with her. My energy levels, I save like an hour in the evenings. So this is very Virgo-esque behavior, and she's actually starting a 21-day challenge on the 9th of September for people who are trying to get back into that schedule and back into that rhythm. So I love the idea of people launching new business opportunities and creating new programs and offerings for their businesses. Virgo is the perfect season to get some details together on what does it look like? How do I want people to feel? What's the structure look like? What's my next 4 months look like as far as what I can expend, but also with that Virgo energy wanting to, put aside some time for your health and self-care as well. And that's going to be absolutely paramount leading into the craziness of Christmas. I know I just said it, but it creeps up faster than you know, right? So we gotta start thinking about that stuff now. So don't be surprised if you find yourself, within the next few weeks, starting to declutter a little bit more, starting to look around your house and see that you actually want less in your life, like less is more, and you want to create more space in your home and in your life for yourself and for things that you truly, truly enjoy. I don't know about you, but like I get a little bit overwhelmed with stuff, but at the same time, I like to collect stuff. Like if you saw my crystal collection in my house, it's ridiculous. Sprays, I love aromatherapy sprays. I'll buy whatever people make. I make my own as well, of course. But I collect all these different anointment oils and candles and sprays. And so I kind of have to start looking around the house and saying, okay, do I need 15 different aromatherapy sprays? Do I need 10 different bundles of sage for smudging? Or maybe I can lean on that service side of Virgo and say, hey, I bet you there's somebody else that can benefit from this. So there's going to be a little bit of that within the energy as well. And the girl that I've been working with on my food and nutrition, she said September is really the new January, and that makes perfect sense with the energy that I feel this month. It's going to be people really starting to, it's like a New Year's. It's like, okay, September, kids are back. I want to start like a regular workout routine. I want to start a regular, meal planning. I want to stop eating out as much. There's going to be a little bit of that within the energy too. Also, quickly just wanted to note that the full moon in Pisces, which is going to be on September 13th, LA time, 21:23. So I just kind of wanted to talk about this because it's a micro moon. And I have only been studying moonology myself for 2 years. So a lot of what I learn with moonology is intuitive. I, of course, learn from the greatest, like Yasmin Boland is definitely my moon guru who I follow the most. But the micro moon to me, so with the super moon is when the grandmother moon is sitting closest to the earth, so she looks much bigger in the sky. I think it's 14% larger. The micro moon is actually when she's at the furthest point from Mama Earth. And so what that means to me intuitively is that because we are mostly made of water, and because the moon does rule the waters, right? It rules the tides. There's no arguing that. But we might start to feel pulled in a bunch of different directions. So we have this Virgo mindset of like, I want to do better. I want to be better. But then we're going to be like health, fitness, food, sleep, meditation, and we might actually start to spread ourselves a little bit thin because we have so much desire to make ourselves better and make our lives better. So just be mindful around this micro moon on the 13th. That might be kind of like the bursting point, the breaking point, because that's kind of what the full moon is. It's explosive. That's where we're kind of going to be like, enough. Okay, I have to focus. I have to focus. I got 1 week left in Virgo season. Let's soak this up. Let's focus. Let's pick 1 or 2 areas in our life and let's just like make a plan. So just look out for that. That is definitely going to be coming up. And then we have the new moon in Libra, which I'll do a different episode on that later on in the month, coming up at 11:26 a.m. on September 28th. So this month, of course, of August, we had 2 new moons. So cool. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of feel in here for a second and feel what else Spirit is wanting to say. So what they're kind of showing me is actually, it's going to be a very clairvoyant month, which is interesting for me because in the mediumship development group that I'm in, it's a clairaudience month. But what Spirit's showing me to talk about is a very clairvoyant month. This is going to be a month where people get very clear visions on what they want in their life. It's like there's a whole lot of clarity, but it's going to appear to you in your imagination. So you kind of have to give yourself space and time to daydream. daydream. So give yourself some downtime. Maybe go to bed an hour earlier every night and just like lay in bed and just allow your imagination to run wild and daydream, because they're showing me, oh, and that's also what they're saying, is that there's going to be a lot of stuff coming up in your dreams as well. That's why they want you to go to bed early. So just look for a lot of visuals to come. It would be really handy for you to start journaling the visions that come up this month, even if they make no sense to you, because especially dreams, they really don't make sense. But just start writing things down. Like, even if you have a vision of a cactus, right? Just like, I keep thinking about this cactus, and then just watch and wait to see what's going to happen. Like, there might be an opportunity to go to Palm Springs. I think that there's cactuses there. You never know. So just, yeah, it's interesting. Okay. So just look out for that coming up too. So Spirit is also warning you to feel that in the dream state, there's going to be some energetic upgrades happening. So you might wake up, what are you trying to say? So you might wake up after a dream state of feeling all of a sudden really inspired and motivated that you know what you want to do next. That's what came up just before too. But they're showing me that there's going to be a lot happening in that dream state. So it's going to be a really important month. We can all feel it. The days are starting to get shorter. I wake up now and it's dark out. So it kind of makes sense that there's this theme coming through very clearly for me that, we go to bed earlier, we start focusing on a deeper rest, and there's going to be these energetic upgrades happening. I'm also getting shown that there's going to be a lot of clarity with the intuition. And I had this inspiration earlier too. It's kind of like, the thinning of the veil. The veil is going to be very thin this month. That's also came up a few months ago, I feel. But this is going to be more in the dream state. This is going to be more in that imagination time and space. There's going to be a lot of clarity. And I think a lot of people are going to be freaking out because they're going to be like, whoa, like I literally thought that this would happen and then it did happen. There's going to be a lot of that happening for sure. There's also, because of the thinning of this veil this month, that I feel it's going to be very significant. There is going to have to be a lot more energetic protection work happening. So you're going to have to really start setting your intentions, especially because, kids are going back to school, things are getting back to normal. I feel like people are going to be surrounded a lot more in groups and by people. And people who are open and opening their sensitivities may start to feel a little more energetically drained around people. So you're really going to have to set strong intentions and boundaries before you go to a potluck, before you take your kid to a birthday party, before you commit to doing like a girls' trip, to really doing some protection work. So that's using the white light, that's using, Mother Earth and grounding with her energies. It's using my things such as like the earthing spray, putting that on the bottom of your feet. It's really setting intentions on grounding, which makes perfect sense too, because we're currently in an earth sign. So there is going to be a little bit of that. I also get the sense that people have been working on themselves a lot over the summer. I feel like a lot happened this summer. I feel like, it was almost like a bam, bam, bam. It's like relationships are changing. People have been signing up for therapy. People have been really focusing on, now is the time that I'm wanting to work on myself. With Chiron in retrograde too, that wounded healer comes up. So a lot of us are feeling called to move that wounded energy around. And what Spirit is saying to me right now is that things now are starting to make that shift to the other side. So there are going to be transformative cellular level changes happening for those people who really spent this summer working on themselves. So look for the end of September. For some reason, I'm being shown September 20th specifically as being a real change in that energy. So good for you. Good for doing that work. Another thing that's really coming up, again, because we're working with this earth sign, I feel like this came up in August as well. I can't remember, and I don't listen back to my episodes, but it's really, with the Amazon on fire right now. There's fires everywhere, but the Amazon in particular, the Keepers of the Earth card comes up for this month, and this is really around us starting to take real responsibility for these changes. I'm seeing a lot of zero waste movement stuff happening. I'm seeing a lot of people really get down with single-use plastics, like much beyond straws and like shopping bags. Like that's all very surface to me. This is big lifetime changes. This is like, I've actually made a dedication to give up red meat because that is such a pollutant of the earth. I'm not going to get too far into it. I am not a vegetarian. So anyone listening to me who knows me is like, what? You live off of ribeye. But that's going to be my huge drastic change. That, and I'm giving up single-use plastics. Like, I have a Tupperware collection. There's no need for me to use Ziploc bags anymore. So I'm actually going to be giving a lot of that stuff up. Like, now we have to start making some really drastic changes to start turning around the energy on Mother Earth. And I know we feel overwhelmed and we feel helpless because we are just one person, but one person is one person is one person, and it all adds up. And I highly recommend that you spend some time, like, I really have this idea of wanting to start like this like prayer time. So it's like 9 p.m. on Sundays. It's like everybody just like send love to Mother Earth like on this time. So I might actually end up doing something like that. If I do it, I will post it on my Instagram. But I feel like it's really important that we start taking this very seriously. And Spirit is saying we're responsible for this. We can't point fingers and blame people. There's politicians saying that there's no such thing as like climate change. We just get angry and we point fingers, and then that anger escalates and it doesn't help the energy. So we need to stop getting angry. We need to start looking within our four walls. We need to start making some drastic changes there. And so this is the month that Mother Earth is saying we're wrapping up summer in an earth sign. It's really the time to start making these big changes, okay? So look beyond straws and plastic bags, please. Commit to at least 5 different things that you can do for Mother Earth. And really focus on spending some time sending some positive vibes, because enough people are angry. It's time to transform that anger into something useful and powerful as a collective. So let's just start sharing some love and light around it, okay? And there's also a spirit message here for the energy of September for you to really focus on what lights you up. Okay, you need to stop doing things that you feel make other people happy. As women, we are very good at that, and we need to start adding a little bit more into our life of what actually lights us up. Now, here's an example. Okay, I used to get so overwhelmed because I am not a homemaker. I am not a natural homemaker. I don't enjoy cooking. I don't enjoy cleaning. There's nothing about being a homemaker that lights me up. And a few years ago, I was so down because I was so overwhelmed by this big house we bought and I could not keep it clean. And of course, I like a clean house, but I don't like cleaning. And I kept saying I don't make enough money to have a cleaner. And then I had somebody call me out on it. Like, what do you mean you don't have enough to hire a cleaner? You don't have like $60 a week? And when they put it into that perspective, I was like, well, yeah, I guess I do. So I ended up hiring a cleaner for my house every week. And I've been doing that for a few years now. And even when I was out of work because I was sick, and I know I've shared that story, I kept my cleaner. I was like, girl, cable is going before you go. Because by bringing that person in to take care of that one piece of my life, I am able to make space for things that really ignite me and clear and light me up. And so I stopped giving myself those excuses, and since I've done that, it's been 2 years, I have doubled my income. Okay, this is a totally different podcast episode in itself, and I always joke with people, I hired a cleaner and then I doubled my income. But something around that shift of I can afford a cleaner, I can afford $60 a week, created this abundance energy all around me, and money is just kind of like attracted to me. My dad always jokes saying, oh, Danielle like tripped on a pile of money again, because I just attract it. It's just the most crazy thing. But I tell you, it was because of that one shift. So you might be feeling, I don't have time to do what lights me up. I have 3 kids or 2 kids, and I have like all these responsibilities. Well, there is a way. We're in like this state of our life right now where there's so much around us to make ourselves easier. Like I heard this nutritionist, like, how do I manage my life so I can free up an hour an evening to spend time with my kids so I'm not in the kitchen cooking? And that's what she's helped me with. So yeah, I did pay, I think, $200 for that blessing for 6 weeks. One of the best investments I've ever made in my life. And really, money is a renewable resource. Money is something that we can manifest. It is energy, but we cannot renew time. We cannot manifest time. So when you're looking at your life and you're feeling short on time, is there any way you could throw money at the problem? And for a lot of people, if you're saying no, I want you to look at that really seriously and say, are you saying no because that's a habitual way of thinking, or because that is not your true story, or are you just, feeling broke and you can actually spend a little bit of money, even $50 a week, to free up some time, okay? And I bet you if you try to make that space and you make that sacrifice with the money to free up some of that time, Spirit is going to reward you in magical ways. So just take it as a challenge for me to try that, okay? Because what I'm seeing more and more now is that people are wanting more time, and people are actually, leaving bad relationships because their time sucks. People are leaving bad friendships because their time sucks. People are starting to leave their jobs. Like I did earlier this year. I, in essence, quit my job, and I ended up getting something part-time, which worked out better for me. So I freed up a whole day a week to just spend on something that lights me up. And what a risk. I mean, it was one of the most courageous things I've ever done, was handing in my notice to one of the most secure things in my life. And it worked out better than I could have even have manifested. So that's something I really want you to be aware of too with this energy, is don't put limitations around what you want out of your life. Dream big, but don't put timelines. Don't put how it's going to come to you. Don't put limitations around it, because some of my biggest blessings have come to me in ways that I could not have thought up. So you need to leave some space for that dream to come through. So super funny. When I do these energy things, I'm having a hard time talking today. I wonder where Mercury is in my chart today, because for some reason I'm having a hard time talking. But, I pull cards as I talk, and that kind of is Spirit's way of giving me extra inspirations around these energies for you all. So I wanted for the first time this month to pull out my Moonology. Okay, let's see what the moon has to say for us, because everyone who listens know I'm a grandmother moon obsessed, right? So what did I pull? The full moon in Virgo. And the message from the moon is, you are good enough. So that is the final message I'm going to leave you on, because I can talk forever. I don't know if you can tell, but I love to talk. And so I'm going to leave you with that message from Grandmother Moon. You are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. If you have the Moonology Moon Oracle decks, I highly recommend you get Moonology anything and everything. She's genius. I love her day planner. I've already gotten my 2020 day planner, and it's one of my best resources and favorite resources in studying the moon. And then I also wanted to let you know, if you do look at my Clouds and Dirt new moon in Virgo forecast, I will link it in the show notes. I actually offer you for the first time my moon tracker. Now, this is a moon tracker I created a couple of years ago. It was based and inspired off of one that my shamanic teacher of Threefold Balance provided me in my shamanic immersion program. I've tried to recreate it a ton of different times, but I just can't. I can't seem to find a better idea than this one layout. So if you go to my new moon in Virgo forecast in the link in the show notes, I actually give you a link to download for free my moon tracker. And you can PM me on Instagram, a Squamish Medium, if you have any questions on how to use it. But I tell you, if you start tracking your life in rhythm with Grandmother Moon, you will start to see patterns on why you feel certain ways during certain cycles of the moon. And you can start giving yourself some permission and relax around yourself and stop being so hard on yourself when sometimes you don't feel like doing stuff, right? If you do that moon tracker month after month after month, you will start to see those cycles within your life. And that has been one of the biggest areas of clarity that I've ever received since I started my spiritual development path. So, and that's actually what got me started on wanting to learn more about Grandmother Moon. So I'm going to end it here, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you received something of value out of this podcast, and I wish you guys all the best. And you will look for a new episode next week with Lindsay Rock, who's an astrologer and medium. I will be posting that on Wednesday of next week, and I look forward to connecting with you all on Instagram. Have a good day, everyone.